I don't know, there's two names.
Actually, I put it on.
And that's what the same as July, actually. I can't think of it. Give that a try.
She's not here.
Stay away from the board as much as you can. The board. You know, they've bad migraines from the county board. That might be actually. Yeah. There could be compensation for that. I would know the girl.
Thanks for buying the fire. Well, that's the board's attorney, I assure you, there's no cause of action. It's an assumed risk. Information is well known.
I don't see her.
Spoken like a true attorney.
June 20th, 2024.
All right, at 6:30, we will call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Ronnie Bush.
Here.
Samuel Newton. Luann Hayes.
Here.
Casey Anthony.
Present.
William Hadley.
Here.
Jim Hart.
Here.
Kurt Copeland.
Here.
Adam Modero.
Here.
Larry Jogers.
Here.
Brooke Deininger. Scott Helms.
Present.
Jackie DeMeester.
Here.
Nicole Baker.
Here.
Steve Frick.
Present.
Brian Brandt.
Present.
Tim Whalen.
Yes, ma'am.
14 present, 2 absent.
Great, thank you. Mr. Whalen, would you lead us in a prayer, and Mr. Copeland, the pledge?
Lord God Almighty, it's a privilege to come before you and serve the people of Stephenson County this evening. I pray that you help us do so with grace, with truth, with mercy, and with gladness, Lord, that you have put us in this position. So pray that we handle things well, we make good decisions, good choices for the folks of this county, that we spend its money wisely, that we do things that will be a glory and honor unto you. So I thank you for this opportunity and just pray for your grace in this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I ask for approval of the agenda, I would just again remind everyone to please speak into their microphone as much as possible so people online can hear us clearly. I would also ask, in approving the agenda, if we could amend it to move the zoning report to directly after public comment. So Ms. Henning can handle both the zoning report and executive session back to back. Is there a motion to do so? Mr. Newton, is there a second? Mr. Hart, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the agenda as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Consent agenda. Are there any items that any board member would like to have removed from the consent agenda?
Yes.
Mr. Hadley.
Yes. Could you remove HD 2410, 2411, 2412, and 2413, and I'll explain why.
Absolutely. Are there any other items that any member would like to have removed? Is there a motion to approve A and B?
So moved.
By Mr. Frick and seconded by Ms. Anthony. Is there any discussion on A and B? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take roll on A and B.
Steve Frick.
Yes.
Brian Brandt.
Yes.
Tim Whalen.
Yes.
Ronnie Bush.
Aye.
Samuel Newton.
Aye.
Luann Hayes.
Aye.
Casey Anthony.
Aye.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Jim Hart.
Yes.
Kurt Copeland.
Aye.
Adam Modero.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Helms.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester.
No.
Nicole Baker.
Aye.
14A, 1 nay, motion carries.
Is there a motion to approve C, D, E, or F?
So moved.
Would that be all, Mr. Whalen, or just one?
All.
Okay, second by
Second.
Mr. Brandt. Mr. Hadley?
Yes, could Dale come up, please? Again, I have some questions. The way he's coming up on HD 2413 really didn't need to even be put on the agenda because it was under $10,000. I think the price was about $4,000 or $5,000, so anything under 10 doesn't have to come to the board, it's just on the committees to save some time. Dale, thank you for coming up. On HD 2410 on the salt, how many people bidded on this?
We only had one bidder, I believe. And this is, I'm not sure the number of bidders, let me put it that way. This is for half of our salt need. The first half, we did a joint purchase on the salt bid from the state. So we're trying it out this year to try bidding it ourselves locally. And do you recall, I don't recall, Brian, do you recall how many bidders we had?
I believe there was two.
Was there two? Okay.
And so, Morton Salt, I never remember ever getting it from them before. They must be a new bidder? Or?
There's three bidders in the area, Cargill, Morton, and the other one starts with the C, are the ones that typically bid our salting every year.
Is our salt use down because of last year?
Now, we bid about 1,500 ton every year, so we did bid and a half locally, so it was 750 ton.
Okay,
And we will be getting 750 ton over the state bid.
So we're bidding the same amount every year?
Yes.
Okay, but we didn't use much salt last year.
No, we did.
So we're gonna have really an excessive amount of salt then?
We'll see what the winter looks like.
Okay, well, okay. Then on HD 2412, who's West Side Tractor Sales? Is that a local person in Freeport here, or
It's in the area, yes.
what's in the area? How many people bidded on that?
Well, we did, I think this was Sourcewell, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we went through Sourcewell for that.
Is that through the state program, or?
No, it's a joint purchase, that you can use Sourcewell for it. I got a determination from Carl Larson in April that Sourcewell meets the procurement code for joint purchasing. So
Okay,
we
yeah.
started getting stuff through Sourcewell.
Did we have one before, or is this a new one that we're replacing, or?
What we're gonna do is we're gonna replace one of our backhoes,
Okay.
our track backhoe. This mini excavator, it helps in areas where you got overhead power lines and you can't get a regular excavator in there. So it gives us
The smaller one.
smaller one to use in there.
Okay, and then on the truck equipment, what, is that for one truck or two trucks?
One truck.
One truck then, like plows and the
Yeah,
salt
yeah.
thing?
It's also
the bed, stainless steel bed, right?
yeah, it's a bed and hydraulics and
Okay,
salt spreader.
okay, thank you very much for the information.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Did you say that it was a half a purchase on salt because we still have remaining salt?
We're experimenting this year. In the past, we've always gotten 1,500 ton through the state bid. But the county engineers in the area are not really, don't really care for the way the state bid is doing it.
Okay.
So we thought, a couple of them are bidding in half. Winnebago bids all of theirs on the local bid. Boone County went half and half. So I thought, well, let's try it this year and see how it goes. We don't know what the state bid price is gonna be yet, but we know what our price is, and we'll see when the state bid comes in, how much it'll be.
So this is the local,
This is, we got the smoking.
the local bid, I'm sorry. And Sourcewell, who purchased it, what, is that through a association or a group of municipalities or?
I think it came out of Minnesota, wasn't it? Yeah.
Sourcewell was out of Minnesota.
Is it something that municipalities belong to, or?
There's several of the counties in the area will use Sourcewell. Some of them don't recognize it as a legitimate way to joint purchase, but so I got a determination from Carl said it's he checked the statute, checked the way they did it, and concurred that it is joint purchase agreement, so it meets the procurement code.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else? Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take roll on C, D, E, and F.
Tim Whalen,
Yes.
Ronnie Bush,
Aye.
Samuel Newton,
Aye.
Luann Hayes,
Aye.
Casey Anthony,
Aye.
William Hadley,
Yes.
Jim Hart,
Yes.
Kurt Copeland,
Yes.
Adam Modero,
Aye.
Larry Jovers,
Aye.
Scott Helms,
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester,
Aye.
Nicole Baker,
Aye.
Steve Frick,
Yes.
Brian Graham.
Aye.
15 A, 0 nay, motion carries.
All right, thank you very much. We will move on to the zoning report. Ms. Henning.
Forget public comment.
Oh, I did, didn't I? I apologize. Is there anyone for public comment? Please, if you would come up to the podium and state your name, you'll have 3 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Jogers.
Hello, my name is Audrey Nelson. I live in Loves Park in Boone County, and I've been a resident of Illinois for about 50 years. And I am a volunteer for United Sovereign Americans and not an official spokesperson. And thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Today I come to you as a concerned citizen of the state of Illinois, sharing alarming information about our state's voter database uncovered through thousands of hours of research conducted by our highly qualified and credentialed data team. While the numbers are staggering and somewhat difficult to comprehend, one thing is clear: they don't add up. Just like your checkbook must balance, so must our votes. If you had 10,000 fewer dollars in your bank account than you had deposited, you would certainly want to know what happened. And if a company had that significant a discrepancy in their books, they would most certainly conduct an audit. In fact, yearly audits are required by law for all public companies. Our audit of the 2022 election, using only official data provided by state election officials, shows that the 2022 election may not have been accurate or legally compliant. We are not saying one candidate won over another or that any election should be overturned. The state's official data from a certified election shows that the votes as counted were not all valid and accurate under the law. Today we will present you with a resolution demanding an end to the inaccuracy and uncertainty of our elections, along with a summary of our findings and the laws that apply. We are happy to meet with you to have time to go over the information, including more detail about the specific findings. If you have questions that we cannot answer now, we will commit to getting you the answer in writing from the United Sovereign Americans executive team as soon as possible. This data and our request for an investigation have been shared with state and county officials and election certifiers. It's essential that you, as our representatives, make it clear that these issues must be considered seriously. Today we come to you, some of our closest elected representatives, for support and action. We're asking that you listen to the resolution, ask questions if you have them, and then vote promptly for its passage. If you need us on your agenda to pass, we are asking today to be invited back. Contact information is provided on the documentation provided to the chairperson. Your action on this resolution will illustrate your dedication and support to the concerns of your constituents and your county. Thank you. And our resolution is next.
Good evening. My name is Loretta Savie. I live at 2208 Bittersweet Row in Winnebago County, and I have been a resident of Illinois for 14 years. I am a volunteer for United Sovereign American and not an official spokesperson. I present to you a resolution for a legally valid 2024 general election. Whereas it is a recognized civil right in the United States for every citizen to have free and fair elections, and the right of suffrage can be denied by a debasement or dilution of the weight of a citizen's vote just as effectively as by wholly prohibiting the free exercise of the franchise. Reynolds versus Sims, 377 U.S. Code 533, 1964. Whereas it is the affirmative duty of our election officials to comply with all federal and state laws governing administration and procedure of our elections, thereby guaranteeing our elections are accurate and free from distortion or manipulation. Congress seeks to guard the election of members of Congress against any possible unfairness by compelling everyone concerned in holding the election to a strict and scrupulous observance of every duty devolved upon him while so engaged. The evil intent consists in disobedience to the law. In Re Coy, 127 U.S. Code 731, 1888. Whereas our constitutional system of representative government only works when the worth of honest ballots is not diluted by invalid ballots procured by corruption, and assuring accuracy can only be achieved through fealty to those laws governing the following four tenets of an election. 1. The voter rolls must be accurate, National Voter Registration Act, 1993. 2. Votes counted must be from eligible voters, U.S. Constitution, 14th Amendment. 3. The number of votes counted must equal the number of voters who voted. 4. There can be no more than 1 in 125,000 ballots in error by the voting system. Help America Vote Act 2002. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Jane Carroll. I live in Winnebago County, and I have been a resident of Illinois for 75 years. I am a volunteer for United Sovereign Americans and not an official spokesperson. I will continue with the resolution. Whereas an open source audit of the Illinois 2022 general election conducted by Illinois state citizens has uncovered evidence of massive inaccuracies that violate both the federal and state laws, including 4,032,801 ineligible or uncertain registration violations found within the Illinois state voter roll database. Again, that was 4,032,801. 589,985 votes cast by uncertain or ineligible registrations. 27,491 more votes counted than voters who voted in the 2022 general election. No one knows who cast them. 589,952 apparent voting violations in excess of the legal standard of system accuracy for a valid federal election. For the 2022 election in Illinois, the legal standard was 33, and yet we had 589,952. Certification as defined by law and attestation of accuracy and compliance appears to have been fraudulent and illegal, whereas these findings trample accuracy requirements of voting systems for a federal election. For a voting system, accuracy is defined as the ability of the system to capture, record, store, consolidate, and report the specific selections and absence of selections made by the voter for each ballot position without error. Whereas it must be known factually and provably that the intent of the voters is accurately represented by election results before certification can be lawfully conducted. Certification of an election that varies from the law is an abridgment of the civil rights of the citizens, a fraud ab initio.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Two more. Finish this bit. This bit.
My name is Terry Mercer. I live in Winnebago County, and I've been a resident of Illinois for 65 years. Whereas Illinois' 22 general election appears to have been invalid, depriving us of our guaranteed protection of our natural rights under a government duty probably chosen by the U.S., the American people, resulting in incalculable damage to our families and way of life, the fabric of these United States. Okay, therefore, we call upon our representatives to provide relief to the people and assurance of domestic tranquility by joining us in demanding a valid 2024 general election that upholds these existing laws and equitable principles of law. 1, proof of citizenship, identity, eligibility to register and vote. 2, voter rolls certified, accurate, and available for public review and challenge 30 days before voting. Voters added after this date must bring proof of citizenship, identity, and address in person to a qualified official at each polling place. Hand-marked secure ballots, similar to currency, where image technology is used for tabulation. These security features must be verifiable in the ballot image. Systems, machines, security measures, infrastructure, and conduct are required to be compliant with the federal law for fraud prevention regarding risk management, certification, testing, and implementation. Adjudication must be signed off by party, candidate, and trained citizen witness after being given full and effective observation rights. Candidates and trained citizens must be allowed immediate access to ballots, ballot image, and cast vote records. Ballots, regardless of entry source, elections operations systems must maintain end-to-end chain of custody from voter to vote count final canvas, including auditability and witness transfer with paper records. A National Institute of Science and Technology compliant, randomized, statistically valid end-to-end audit with a 95% confidence level of all elections pursuant to the 14th Amendment, Section 2 must be performed. These audits must be performed by qualified, insured, bonded security forensics of financial auditors.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Dean Barker. I live in Winnebago County. I've been a resident in Illinois for 66 years. I'm a volunteer for the United Sovereign Americans and not an official spokesperson. I'll continue with the resolution. If the total or all unique variances above is more than 10% of the margin of victory, a new election must be held in this state for those candidates affected, unless the issues can be probably corrected by a manual hand recount and a full view of the records. Waiver or requirements is not allowed. Only end-to-end system compliance from registration through certification can guarantee the intent of the people is accurately recorded. This concludes our powerfully written resolution outlining the massive inaccuracies in our 2022 election. From registration to certification, in it you heard us ask for meaningful remedies be provided to proactively protect the validity of the next 2024 general election. In fact, the resolution cited many U.S. Supreme Court precedents that support the need for such actions. Laws are being ignored. The bottom line, the checkbook is not balancing. We need certainty. The voter system controls our most vitally important right, the right to suffrage. It is not capable of producing an accurate, trustworthy result. Do you think these anomalies within our election system, which are part of our national security infrastructure, should continue to be ignored? How much is it costing us not to fix the problem? How much is it costing our GDP, our military, our foreign policy, our health, self-esteem of our children and young people? And how much is it costing our dignity to keep fighting each other? The cost is immeasurable, so I urge you to show your agreement by passing the resolution. If you are unable to today, as mentioned earlier, we ask that you be invited back, put us on your agenda if your process requires it to pass. Our website showcasing our initiatives nationwide has some great videos explaining anomalies and apparent violations of the law that are found here in this state as well as others. The website is uniteforfreedom.com. That's unite, the number 4, freedom.com. I encourage you to check it out and learn more about our group. Thank you for your time today. And I do have the script and contact information. Can we read that, Liz?
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Brian Jones. I live in Winnebago County. I've been a resident of Illinois for 64 years. I'm a volunteer for the United Sovereign Americans and not an official spokesperson. What you have heard today is a culmination of thousands of hours of work by our highly qualified and credentialed volunteer data teams from this state and across the country. Let's step back for a second and look at the big picture. High numbers of Americans, including many right here in the county, have questions about the trustworthiness of our elections. I think we can all agree that we wish this was not the case, but official data shows these concerns are valid, and the law says they are important in securing our liberty. At the same time, government representatives at all levels are not being transparent or responsive to what our citizen audits have found. Our right to vote is for elected representatives, and legally valid and transparent elections is the foundation on which our constitutional federal republic was established. That right has been bravely protected over the past 2.5 centuries by sacrifices of our brothers, fathers, mothers, sisters, and some of us, our children. You on this board tonight have a chance to show everyone who defended American liberty and the citizens you represent that you value it by passing this resolution demanding a valid election in 2024. Please invite us back to be on your agenda if you are unable to pass it tonight. Our state director's contact information is on the documentation provided by our last reader. We appreciate your commitment to the constituents of this county, as well as the time and attention you have given us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to give public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to zoning and Ms. Henning.
Good evening. The Zoning Board of Appeals met on Thursday, June 13th with full quorum. The first item on the agenda was a code amendment to Article 4, General Provisions, Subsection 400-23.7, Brewery Distillery. Testimony was given, and a voice vote of 4-0. The ZBA recommends approval by this board without conditions.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Hart, is there a second?
Second.
And Mr. Copeland, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
One opposition, motion passes. Next item, please.
The last item on the agenda was for a code amendment to Article 9, Business Districts, subsection 400-56, B3, to add alphabetically brewery distillery. Testimony was given, and with a voice vote of 4-0, the ZBA recommends approval by this board without conditions.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Hart, is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Hayes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
One opposition, motion passes. Anything else for zoning, Ms. Henning?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. We'll then move into executive session, 5 ILCS 120/2C11, litigation or claims, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administration tribunal, or when the public body finds an action is probable or imminent. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
And Mr. Joger, second by Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Helms.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester.
Aye.
Nicole Baker.
Aye.
Steve Frick.
Aye.
Brian Brandt.
Aye.
Tim Whalen.
Aye.
Ronnie Bush.
Aye.
Samuel Newton.
Aye.
Luann Hayes.
Aye.
Casey Anthony.
Aye.
William Hadley.
Aye.
Jim Hart.
Aye.
Kurt Copeland.
Aye.
Adam Mottero.
Aye.
15 A, 0 nay, motion carries.
Very much. Okay, there was no action taken in executive session, so we'll move on with the agenda. Unfortunately, there will not be a presentation tonight by Greater Freeport Partnership. There was a misunderstanding on our administrator's part on scheduling that for tonight. It will be in July. We'll move on to proclamations, the approval of Juneteenth Independence Day proclamation, and although this is a day late, I would still like to have this read and also approved by this body. Whereas President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation was issued on January 1st, 1863, yet news of the end of slavery that did not reach the frontier areas of the United States, and in particular the southwestern states, for over 2.5 years. And whereas on June 19, 1865, Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, arrived in Galveston, Texas, with news that the Civil War had ended and that the enslaved were free. And whereas African Americans who had been enslaved in the Southwest began celebrating June 19th, commonly known as Juneteenth Independence Day, in 1866 as inspiration and encouragement for future generations. And whereas the Stephenson County Board acknowledges the historical significance of Juneteenth Independence Day to the United States, and whereas residents of Stephenson County are encouraged to join the continued nationwide celebration of Juneteenth Independence Day to provide an opportunity for the people of the United States to learn more about the past and to better understand the experiences of enslaved people that have shaped this country. And whereas the Stephenson County Board recognizes that celebration of Juneteenth is part of the history and heritage of the United States. Now therefore be it resolved by the Stephenson County Board that June 19th is recognized as Juneteenth Independence Day, and encourages everyone to join in celebration and solidarity, and urges all residents to actively raise their own awareness of the significance of this celebration in American history and in the heritage of our nation and county. Is there a motion to approve?
So.
By Mr. Bush, is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Modero. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to appointments. We have the approval of the appointment of Tatiana Rodriguez to the Freeport Mosquito Abatement District and the approval of the appointment of Steve Moss to the Rock City Fire District. Is there a motion to approve one or both?
Motion to approve both.
Is there a second?
Second.
And Mr. Hart, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Chairman's report, I'll be relatively brief. If you have signed up for the subcommittees for the strategic planning sessions, you should have received an email from our administrator asking to put forth days and times that would work for scheduling. If you have not yet had the opportunity to reach out to the administrator, please do so as soon as possible so we can get those scheduled and started. There's still time to sign up if you would like to, so please consider that as well. Also, next month, we will begin the 2025 budget process. So as I do with every year, I encourage all board members to please become actively engaged in this process, even outside of your specific oversight committees. There's nothing stopping you except time, I guess I will say, from attending all the oversight committee meetings through the budget process. I would really hope, as we've done in the past year, to do all the heavy lifting in the oversight committees themselves and not leave it to finance. So again, I would implore all of you to please do so. Just remember too, if you don't care to attend all of the oversight committee meetings, that every board member is emailed the entire packet for each. Please look through those if you would and become engaged in that process as well. And if you have questions prior to approvals, you're more than welcome to reach out to department heads for the specific oversight committee chairs. And finally, if you noticed, I did have the 708 board meeting minutes attached to tonight's committee packet. I think it was the allocation meeting, and I don't know, Ms. Anthony, if you have anything you'd like to share regarding that.
I can
Go ahead.
I can just add that the allocations were completed and sent out as for the suggested, and those will go to the Finance Committee for official approval. And also because FHN dissolved their family counseling center, there was also a decision made to reallocate those funds amongst the agencies. And so that decision was made at the last meeting also.
Okay, great, thank you for that. As you probably noticed, we don't have a presentation from any of the members of 708 Board, but we are looking to do that again in July, I believe, at that meeting. So, okay, with that, we'll move on to action items and information from standing committees. First up is Finance. Mr. Whalen, I believe you have 2 action items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First off, we have a need to move a date in November due to the requirements of the setting up the budget for the 15-day window that we need to allow the public to chew on it. Our initial board meeting is going to be on November 12th. We had initially scheduled the second meeting for the 26th, which is inadequate to meet that requirement. So at Finance, we recommend that we move that from Tuesday the 26th to Wednesday the 27th. And yes, that is the day before Thanksgiving, but we really don't have another choice. We looked at it about 20 different ways. That's kind of what we came up with. So I would make a motion to move the second meeting in November in the county board from the budget layover to the 27th from the 26th.
All right, second by Ms. Anthony. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Your next item,
The
please.
second item, our finance director brought forth some just minor updates on the budget process, if you will, or administrative budget policy. If you look at page 4, that we just are mentioning the elected official salaries and setting salaries for new terms of elected officials was last completed January 2022. Just making note of that within the budget policy document, if you will. And then on page 7, recommending that each department head and elected official compile a capital asset report listing existing capital assets so that we can include that in the budget process. And so then on the last piece, that will be now part of the budget presentation. So those are the main things along with the 4% COLA that was recommended by Finance to be factored into the budget. So I would move that those changes be accepted and the administrative budget policy for fiscal year 2025 be accepted as presented.
Okay, do I have a second? By Mr. Jogers, discussion?
Yes, I have a question or request, and that would be for things like this. We just did this with, I think it was the nursing committee handbook. It would be very helpful to have an annotated copy of this when we're approving changes. Something that highlights what those changes are, lines through the old, you know what I'm saying. I think we have this most of the time with most legal documents. It's just difficult to really take this in and make an intelligent decision about it without seeing what those are visually. So I would hope that we can, I'm not going to ask to lay it over, but I'd like to see it done that way in the future.
All right, Mr. Hadley.
Yes, on the 4%, how did you come to that amount?
We discussed it as a committee. We went back and forth, looked at all the different numbers and felt that that was the most appropriate for the time and the impact of the budget.
I asked this question last year, and I'm going to ask it again. Do we have an estimate cost, because I know it's all non-union employees, do we have an estimate cost of what this might cost us at 4%?
Since we do not have the finance director, I do not have that number with me, Mr. Hadley, I'm sorry. Yeah. But it is in the meeting minutes, I do believe, because we did discuss it, if you'd like to review those.
Okay, so, but this is not set in gold. If we run into budget problems, and we shouldn't, this could be changed, correct?
I do believe so.
You do believe so, I mean, you know.
The budget policy is a guide.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Chairman.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's all I have.
Ms. Anthony.
Thank you. I just want to make a comment, a suggestion, that if this whichever budget policy, whether it passes tonight or whatever, that you pin this email or somehow save it so that you have it for future reference. There's things that come up in committee meetings that we don't necessarily follow the budget policy because we just don't remember that it exists. So I would suggest that you somehow make this handy. For example, grants. When grants come in, when department heads apply for grants, we don't always follow that specifically. That's just one example. And then the money comes in and then everyone goes, where should we put it? This is a very good guide if you but it's hard to find in the middle of a meeting when we get, we have like thousands of emails. So save it, star it, pin it, whatever. That's just my suggestion. Thank you.
Mr. Frick.
Just a comment to Mr. Hart, if you go back to the finance packet, the annotated version of those changes to the budget policy, along with all of the others, are already in that, and you should have received that in your email. So you do have that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Frick. Appreciate that. Mr. Whalen?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same things, Mr. Frick. And going forward, we do plan to make sure that there is a highlighted copy for future changes. I mean, we did discuss that was a necessary piece of the equation. So, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
One opposition. Motion passes. Anything else out of your committee, Mr. Whalen?
Not at this time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you. So we'll move on to public property and safety. No action items. Mr. Copeland, any information?
Yes, I have some information, Chairman. Director Townsend for EMA is meeting with the Fair Board to review and update the emergency plan. Sheriff Scoville, again, his report, Helm Crew, and the elevator repair are going to happen probably in the next couple of weeks. We've been auditing, and the company's been auditing and seeing what parts they need to purchase and arrive, and when they come in, they're going to start work. In the hiring process, one corrections officer has graduated from Police Training Institute and has started their training program, and 2 law enforcement officers are at the Police Training Institute. The crime suppression unit that we passed and is implemented by the sheriff now, as it's been sent the summary of the month of May for what the unit has done. It's pretty impressive. In 13 days, I'll just give an overview real quick, 13 shifts, 142 contacts, 70 traffic stops, 1 pedestrian stop, 7 offense reports, 1 felony arrest, 2 felony warrants, 2 misdemeanor warrants, 8 misdemeanor arrests, 6 bench warrants, 22 traffic citations, 51 written warnings, 2 verbal warnings, 22 vehicle searched, 49 persons searched, 59 grams of cannabis recovered, 0.1 gram of cocaine, drug paraphernalia recovered 4, and currency seized is $6,900. That's 13 days with 2 deputies. So that's very impressive, and it's off to a good start. The license plate readers are all ready to install, and that should be done pretty soon.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Mr. Frick?
I just had a question for Mr. Copeland. Do you know, Kurt, it all sounds great when we talk about the number of stops, but how many of those numbers are duplicates? Do you know? I mean, if you made a traffic stop and you did 2 felony warrants and you confiscated drugs, that's 1 stop. And that's 4. I'm not trying to be picky, I'm just saying we're inflating
Oh, there's things going to be combined and all that, yes. You're going to get arrest off a traffic stop. Yeah, it's going to be in different categories, but it's the same incident, yes.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Copeland?
No.
All right, we'll move on to administration. Mr. Jokers, do you have an action item?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, before you get impacted, number 13, we have approval and renewal of the Microsoft licensing agreement. And that is an annual renewal, and we have that for $85,842. That is in the budget, and we should be fine there. So I will make a motion to approve. This is all the licenses for the whole county.
All right, is there a second? Ms. Anthony, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else out of your committee, Mr. Jokers?
Just real quickly, the IT manager, Mr. Louis, in his report, he mentioned that he hasn't heard on the installation date for this county boardroom updates, but it should be soon. What's that? You do it? Okay. There we go.
Good evening, everyone. So they were supposed to be here in June, but since they're doing install all over the state of Illinois, they're kind of backlogged and waiting on equipment. We did firm up the last week of July that they are going to be here, so they'll be in here. I don't think we have any scheduling conflicts. I checked with zoning, past the board meeting next month, so they should be able to complete that within a week for the most part, so we should be ready to go for August.
Thank you. That's all.
That's all you have? All right. Thank you very much. We will then move on to court services. Mr. Bush, you have an action item.
Yes, I just got one with access to justice improvement grant and court navigator network membership. It's the same grant that circuit clerk go out for every year, no match. It's for $31,000 and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
And Mr. Hart, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
One in opposition, motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Bush? All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to nursing center. Ms. Baker, you have a few action items.
Yes, approval of the bid for the HVAC rooftop replacement units for Stephenson Nursing Center. The committee passed unanimously for Luscious Heating and Air. With that, I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
And Mr. Hart, is there any discussion? Ms. Anthony? I'm sorry, Ms. Anthony, I'll get to Mr. Hadley first, please.
Yes, I just wanted to report also that we had 3 bids on this, and the lowest bid was Lusher's $166,950. Company out of Winnebago was $183,085. And then another local one was $309,000, almost practically double. So very lucky that I'm very happy that we got 3 bids on this project.
Ms. Anthony?
Thank you. Can you just remind me what the budget was for this? Does it fall within?
Oh, yeah, it was like 200 and something.
Oh, thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take roll on this.
Nicole Baker.
Aye.
Steve Frick.
Yes.
Brian Grant.
Aye.
Tim Whalen.
Yes.
Ronnie Clark.
Aye.
Samuel Newton.
Aye.
Lou Ann Hayes.
Aye.
Casey Anthony.
Aye.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Jim Hart.
Aye.
Kurt Copeland.
Aye.
Adam Modero.
Aye.
Larry Jovers.
Aye.
Scott Helms.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester.
Aye.
15 A, 0 nay. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Ms. Baker, your next item, please.
Approval of agreement with Grapetree Medical Staffing. This will be used for staffing when we are short-handed. So with that, I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bush. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any other information, Mrs. Baker?
Yes, today the staff wore purple for Alzheimer's and had lunch at the facility. Dementia training took place earlier this week. Census is at 45 with 1 in the hospital. And that's all I have at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Frick, planning and development, you have no action items, any information?
Just to, thank you, Mr. Chairman, just to update you that the process of the sale of the 2 lots at Mill Race is moving towards closing. Well, everything's going the way it should.
Thank you very much. We will move on then to Public Works. Mr. Brandt, no action items, but any information out of your committee?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. 2 updates and one announcement. So the updates, River Road will begin construction here in another couple of weeks. and also both Cedarville roads, just after 4th of July. So we're looking forward to the beginning of those. The announcement is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and even the committee members were agreeing on this one. So online, we are now able to accept donations for animal control. So that's a wonderful thing. And it's also set up for Amazon wish list, so people can also donate food and that kind of thing as well. So go to our website, it's under animal control, and a sub-menu for donations. So very positive development.
Sounds good. Ms. Anthony?
Thank you. Is there, just a suggestion, is there any way we can put that link to the website or the Amazon wish list on the county website?
Mr. Louie? Is that a possibility? Could you repeat that, Ms. Anthony?
With the additions of the online donations and that capability, are we able to put the link to that on the county website?
You mean like on the landing page, or are you talking? It is on the county website, right? That's where it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You want to repeat where that's located? I know you just said it, but could you say it again, please?
So I'll go to the departments, click on animal control, and the sub-menu underneath that is donations, and it has its own page. So both options are available there.
All right, great. Mr. Hadley?
Yes, Mr. Brandt, on the corner of McConnell Road and Route 26, there's a house I believe the county owns. When are we scheduled to tear that down? It really looks terrible. The grass is high. It's not it's not been kept up nice. When are we going to tear it down then?
Dale, do you have anything on that?
I go past there, a couple times a week to go to Madison, and it just doesn't look too nice up there.
Thanks for sticking around.
I'm working with IDOT to try to get funding for that intersection. We spent that funding on the main line that I had set aside for the intersection. We have a new regional engineer now. The previous regional engineer was not inclined to participate in the intersection. We have a new one, so I'm trying to work with her to get funding to build up that intersection, and part of that would be to tear that house down. If a lot needs to be mowed, we can get our crew out there and mow it.
Somebody took looks like people are kind of throwing their garbage on their property, like shrubbery and stuff like that. If you look on the side of the house on 26, there's like a huge stack of shrubs that were cut and just thrown there.
I saw that when I went by there earlier this week, and there was an accident at that intersection, and they wiped out a gas standpipe. So I'm thinking the gas crew went in there and took those bushes out to repair that gas line.
Yeah.
But as far as we're also using the area to stockpile, so some of that might be our stuff up there. I know we've got some material we've stored up there. So
yeah, I just thought maybe we'd get it kind of cleaned up before somebody complains.
yeah. I'll have our guys go up there and mow it.
Thank you, Dave.
Anything else, Mr. Brandt?
No, thank you.
All right, with that, we'll move on to public comment. Anyone like to make public comment? Seeing none, we have nothing for new business. Is there a motion to adjourn? By Mr. Bush, second by Ms. Hayes. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, everyone.